Hey everyone, Coach Holden here. So today we're going to be going over all of the movements on weakness work for glute engagement and strengthening. If you just have like one or two questions or want to skip ahead to a certain movement, check the description below. You should see some links down there to specific parts of the video to kind of like help you guys out. If not, then the only piece of equipment that you will need today is going to be a mini band. Doesn't matter if it's light, heavy, or anything in between. Just something to kind of like push against and have some more engagement. It's going to be super useful for all this stuff. So it's necessary for 3 movements, but it actually will be helpful for a couple others like glute bridges, the leg lifts, and also the 1.5 squats. So make sure you keep it handy. You'll be using it a lot. And I think that's it. All right, so first off is the glute bridge. So you're just gonna find a nice place to lay down, something that's comfortable. From there, just gonna get both your heels down. You're gonna be driving through your heels mainly today. So once you're all the way flat, then from there, just gonna extend through your hips. Make sure you're getting a nice hip extension so you're not sunken down here. This isn't all the way up. You're gonna make sure that you're all the way nice and high. Your feet are still right outside your hips or so. And then this is obviously a hold. Remember that you're not trying to get your upper back off the ground. You're just looking for your mid back and like a little bit of your low back. And then you can just go right back down. So send your hips up, nice and high, big squeeze, and then right back down. This is one of those movements that could be enhanced by the use of, where'd it go? Oh, by the use of a mini band. So if you were going to use these, then you'd probably put this around like right above your knees to kind of enhance that feeling. All right, so next movement we have leg lifts, another movement that you probably are pretty familiar with. For these, you're gonna get down onto your side. Where your hands go or where your shoulders are really don't matter. It doesn't matter too much, but once you're on your side, the main thing you're gonna be thinking about is making sure that your toes stay pointed the same direction. So you do not want one toe to face this way. This is not the leg lift we're looking for. You are looking to keep both toes that way, and you almost want to lead with that top heel. So from this bottom position, you're just going to send it all the way up, big squeeze at the top, and then just right back down. And that's it. This is another movement that you could always use the mini bands for, and it would be super helpful. Here's a video of that, of me doing it at some other point. All right, cool. All right, so next movement is going to be the Romanian deadlift. For these, you do need a weight, but you could use any household type thing, whether it be a dumbbell or a bag of rice, big enough backpack. We've been doing all this backpack fitness. Anything like that works as long as you can hold on to it with 2 hands. So once you get that object up, then all you're going to think about doing is sending your hips back first, chest comes down. That object is going to come down to about right below your knees, and then nice and quick, you're going to stand all the way up and make sure you're squeezing your glutes at the top. So don't do this like super slow or like relaxed. Like you're not just like going through the movement this way. You're really thinking about setting those hips back. Should feel some big engagement in your hamstrings, and then when you stand up, you got to make sure that you're squeezing at the top. This is another movement that's super helpful to use a mini band with. So if you do have one, give that one a shot.
Okay, so we have another appearance of Coach Katie doing the Lunge Matrix. She does the front lunge with the pulse first, followed by a side lunge, and then finishing out with a reverse lunge. So different angle, same thing. Steps out, a little pulse, halfway up, right back down. Go into the side lunge, don't let your chest drop. And then go right back with that same foot into the reverse lunge and stand up through that front heel.
All right, so next up is going to be the single leg glute bridge hold. So obviously it's a variation of the glute bridge. So you're going to assume the same position. You're going to come down to the ground, both heels go down, lay all the way flat. And then once you are there, your hands can go down, stabilize, especially for this one since it can be a little bit tricky in the beginning. So once you get those heels down, you can either start off just by doing a normal glute bridge all the way up. And then once you feel comfortable here, you can send one foot up and just try and balance as well as you can. Make sure that your hips don't drop too much. And yes, this is difficult. Then you'd bring one foot down, send that opposite one up. Still trying to keep that nice straight line, and still my upper back is not off the ground, just my mid back and lower back. Back to neutral, all the way down. For this one, I would not say using the mini bands is a great idea unless you're very used to doing this stuff, because this is hard enough as it is just to balance. So give it a shot. Okay, so next up we have clamshells. This is, I think, the first movement that you actually do need the mini bands for. So this one's going to go right around your knees or right above your knees, and then you're just going to come all the way over to your side. You're going to make sure that you're keeping your heels and your toes together, just nice and flat. What you're trying to think about using when you're extending this knee all the way up is going to be strictly through your glute. So from here, just going to open up your knees, make sure you're squeezing through that glute, and then send it right back down. Still trying to keep your foot engaged to your top of your opposite foot, and you're not thinking about taking it up off the ground or going that way. Just think about it as a hinge, and just opening your knees up and then closing them right back down. Great.
Next up is going to be a banded eccentric goblet squat, and Coach Katie is demoing again. So it's going to be a 4-second descent all the way down. Hips go back first. Once you get into that bottom position, then you're going to stand right back up. She has a band that is actually around her thighs that she's fighting against this entire time. And with the last angle you'll see that her knees do not cave in at all, even when she is standing back up. Thanks again, Katie. And here we have the 1.5 squats. So you're going to go down below parallel, stand up halfway, back down, and then stand all the way up, and that counts as 1 rep. Katie is demoing these with a band around her knees, but she does not need to have one. Just this is going to add a little bit of extra resistance. Nothing would really change about the movement. You would still ensure that your knees are not caving in when you're standing all the way up, and that your knees stay in line with your toes when you're going through the movement. And a big shout out to Daniel for incorporating this movement into Cove programming this year.
Last thing on the docket today is going to be glute pulses. So for these, same thing as before, you're going to grab a mini band. It's going to go directly around your knees or right above your knees. For this one, I would say go with the strongest mini band that you have, just because this one you can really get a lot of engagement with your glutes. So from here, you're just gonna get your feet in, or feet all the way down, right in line with your hips. Then from there, you're just gonna think about sending your knees out, squeezing as much as you can, still trying to keep your feet down, and you're really thinking about pressing away and using those glutes to keep that band out, and then right back together. So you're not letting your knees come all the way in, just back to that neutral position. So a normal glute pulse, out, in. Can add in a little hold at the end if you really like to, but you will definitely be feeling these later. Mini bands are the best. All right, I think that's it. Thanks for watching today. Make sure to check out the other weakness work videos that we're going to be putting out. We also have core engagement, overhead positioning, and single arm stability. So you should see those shortly. Awesome. See you guys later.